Hey guys, we are getting an amazing banner this week that, while not everyone is going to be pulling for, is still a pretty good banner where you're able to pick not only Narissa, who is guaranteed to be on the banner, but also you're able to pick any single legendary hero that you want. They cannot be ancient exclusive and they cannot be lords. So, with that being said, who should you guys pick? And that is the topic of today's video. I'm going to be going all the way through pretty much every eligible character in this game and ranking them, talking about it a little bit. I don't recommend really skipping to the end and seeing the rankings. I recommend you guys listen to why I'm ranking them this way, because I know I have a lot of early game and late game viewers. So I'm going to try to cater to both and provide different reasons why you might want to pick some of these heroes. Starting with Ezreal, D tier. Now keep in mind this is not going to be including, if you want to get a hero off of your nascent to, just have them in the future for the people who are only missing like 3 heroes. This is just going to be a bit more broad. So Ezreal goes in D tier, so does Tallulah. They just purely do not have anywhere in the game where they really matter that much. Right? And this carries over to heroes like Xena. I think Xena is highly underrated, but I still don't think anyone should be picking her. Same with Seraphina. Glacius, I would never ever pick. Xeris, I would never pick. Anai is good in Boreas Codex. I would never pick her. Lynx goes into D tier, right? We get Lasir, and Lasir is good, but the reason why he's in D tier is because Artemis is simply a better option and will be going in C tier. He could go B. He's really good in Gear Dodge 1 and Gear Aid 1, but that is realistically it. Now, let's skip ahead a little bit to Pharisee. Now, Narissa and Pharisee are on the same banner, so I am kind of not feeling like I want to put him S, but I will actually put Aelin in S. The reason is Pharisee's replacement and improvement is on this banner. The Aelin's not. So if you don't have either of them, Aelin is a must-have right now. Gear Aid 2, Abyss, Healer Codex, all sorts of things. She's the single best AoE healer in the game. Very important. Malric is a unit that really let me down, but that is what happens. Moving on, Beelzebub is actually one that I will be picking. I think he's a fringe S tier, maybe even an A tier. This kind of depends on what you want, right? GVG, new Kriya Codex, and Gear Aid 1, he's a must-have. The thing is, I don't really have him because he wasn't that good on release, right? There wasn't a lot of places for him, but he's gotten a lot better. Bubba stocks are up. I would argue that it could be S, right? Pharisee's a fringe S, but Narissa's on the same banner. Moving on, Beatrix is a B tier. Beatrix has gotten buffed a couple times and is actually really freaking good. Very underrated. I'm going to put her in B tier. But really, I wouldn't pick her if you have anyone above as a possible option. Sadie goes B tier as well because of her Gear Aid 2 usage. To not use Sadie, you have to have A1 Hars, which is a big ask, right? Or a Carnelian. So if you don't have Sadie, that is a potential option there. Now, Lyra's going to go in B tier as well. Decent in Abyss. Actually, no, C tier. The thing is, she's decent in Abyss, but she's not even in the most meta comps. So in a highly valuable banner like this, I wouldn't pick her. Vorn is going to get A purely because of if you have Nestia and you have Numera, but you don't have Vorn, Vorn's a great option. Eloin is probably the single most important hero here. If you do not have Eloin, you must pick Eloin. Honestly, I'm just going to make a tier above. Add a row above, right there. We could change the color to blue. Doesn't really matter. This is going to be SSS. Eloin is standing alone at SSS. Okay? If you don't have Eloin, you must pick Eloin. Simply, you must. Twyla, I would put in A tier as well. Twyla's really good if you don't have Wukong and Kikiri Awakenings. She is probably the best DPS for bosses. I might even consider putting her in S tier, but I'm not going to because I have other people in mind for that spot. She is insanely good. Moving on, Vierna is going in S purely because she helps boost Sylas, which Sylas, if you do not have Sylas and you have Vierna, or you have Sylas but you don't have Vierna, they're basically the two most important ones aside from Eloin. very, very important. Silas is still relevant and still one of the best heroes in the game. Moving on to Boreas, I'm going to put him in A tier as well. He's quite good, but if you don't have Awakenings on him, he isn't as great. GVG, amazing. Geared 1, amazing. He's great for progression, but if you're still thinking about progression, you should pick the people that are higher up. Eris is going to get a C tier. He's good, not really usable. Kriya is just a little better than the D tier people, in my opinion, just because of some GVG viability, but she's a D tier. Zealous is probably the worst person you could pick, or alternatively, Kineza is a terrible, terrible pick. Azor is a terrible, terrible pick. Orym, terrible pick. Shamir, terrible pick. You should never be picking any of these guys. Cratch, same story. Edith is good for Geared Under 2, but there's quite a few replacements. So I cannot put her higher than C, but she is higher than the people below her. Moving on to, I guess I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. Nocturne is also a D tier. You should never pick Nocturne. Talon gets a high B. The thing is, Talon's more of a specialty or a flexibility type of unit. She's not really required for any specific content, but she's really good in a lot of places that you wouldn't really think she's great in, right? She's very good, GVG, Geared Under 2. There's a bunch of areas where Talon is amazing. Yuri gets to go into A tier because of her anti-air necessity, I guess I should say, and also the new Geared 3 stages. She is absurdly good. Moving on to Comet, I will also put him A, just because he's a step above the people below. Still very strong, but definitely has fallen off a little bit. I would argue that Beatrix is actually pretty similar to him, but it kind of depends. The thing is, if you don't have Boreas or Comet, you should pick Boreas, in my opinion, for everything but Geared Under 1. But if you have Boreas, you shouldn't pick Comet. So I guess I'll put him down because of that. Fierna also is more important now with her exclusive gear. She is so much better than Boreas and Comet for specific Geared Under 1, Gear Raid 1 type of applications. Lucius is going to get A tier as well, mostly because of his APOC viability. He's incredibly strong in some codexes, and just his damage is very underrated. He just needs a Lord to work, but Watchers are like the best faction right now. Hex is going to get S tier, easy S tier for me. One of the best boss killers in the game. The thing is, while he's not the best anymore, his flexibility is insane. He has 2 very good boss killing factions, and he just works very easily, which really, really matters. Razak is going to get D tier. Only application for picking him would be Pelaga's Codex. Kai is going to get a C purely because of the new Gear Raid stages. Gear Raid 3, 24. Kai is better than Nyx. Simply, he buffs allies anti-air damage. That's the only reason why I'm putting him here. But I for the most majority of players, I wouldn't even think about it. Moving on to Alora. This is going to surprise a lot of people. I'm putting her in B, and this is only, and this is why I said you guys should watch the video all the way through. This is mostly because of Gear Raid 324. Okay, I know 99% of people cannot do it, but if she is one of your only options, because you need to clear the right, you need her A5 realistically. You can do it with her A3, but you need some awakenings on her. And it's a very gated piece of content because of Allure. So that is the only reason why I'm putting her there. For everyone else, keep in mind, she is down here. Do not pick Allura. So I'll even it out and place her next to Kai. Next, we get to Setrum. Setrum is also an A tier for me. Abyss viability, Styx Codex viability, Faction Trials if you haven't done it already, BP. He's quite good. And I think mostly I'm putting him up here because of Abyss. Moving on to Nyx. Nyx is going to get a B tier, I think. She's just really good. She's great in Geared 3. She's great in a couple other areas. The anti-air arena is one of the things as well. The thing about her is every time I realize that I have an A1 Nyx, I feel sad, and I realize that I really need her awakened. She's one of the heroes I am hurting the most for not having at a good level, so I'm putting her pretty high. Fenris, I don't think Fenris is good. Moving on to Hatsa, I think Hatsa is still an S tier for this type of thing. She's great everywhere. and I keep finding more and more uses for Hatsit every day. It's insane. Constance, because of Diao Chen, is now going to go down to A tier because I think that Diao Chen has replaced her viability in places like Arena, has replaced her viability in areas like Codex, areas, a lot of areas, right? Diao Chen is just so good that I think it lowers her a little bit, but if you don't have Constance, this is a great option. Calypso's going to get D tier. Don't pick Calypso. She's good in a couple areas, but I can't bring myself to recommend her. Malvira is actually surprisingly good if you're a GVG player and you don't have many other options. She's actually a really good option to pick. She's very underrated. I'm going to put her in B tier, but you can put her down in C. Doesn't really matter. Same with the Brokir. This is the highest I can feasibly put tanks. Is like if you don't have many other options and you're hurting for tanks, these are some good ones. But realistically, I wouldn't pick them for the average player. Trusk goes in D tier. Crowdor is only for a single codex. That is their only use in the entire game. I have Brokir in here again, my bad. Lord Phineas is going to get A tier purely because of his Abyss viability. This is like they're the most important units in a very important area, right? Abyss is the single most important content to focus purely because the rewards are really good and it's the most endgame thing to try to push towards, right? So they're going to get A tier because of it. Magmus is garbage. Magda's actually also going to get an A tier. Magda is incredibly powerful now, amazing in GVG, really good in Arena, a necessity in Gear Raid 1 now. She's good in a lot of other areas. AMR, if you're still stuck on that. Magda's really good. I think she deserves to go in A tier. Valeria is going to go in B tier. Gear Dodger 2, Voider 6 or whatever it was of Epilogue. She's still good. Arena I see her used a little bit, but realistically, I can't put her much higher. Numera is also going to get A tier because of that Abyss viability, like I mentioned. Helga is a C tier, mostly because she's still really good in Styx, but you can get by without her. Styx has been power crept so much recently. Cerberus is actually going to get a B tier from me because Gear Raid 1, there is a Cerberus strat, which I still need to make a video on, where you don't need really any awakenings on your units because Cerberus does so much damage. He's quite good. I'm putting him there. Abomination, not even in the conversation. Absent, not in the conversation. Arrogance is going to... I'm putting Arrogance in top of B. I can't put him in A, unfortunately, anymore. He's good basically everywhere, but you need his awakenings, and I don't know. He's just not as good as he used to be. Ares is going to get C tier. He's actually better than Torador as the tank in Abyss, but it's very hard to make work, and the average player is not going to care. Next, we get to Valk. I'm going to put Valk in B tier as well. She's a great option. Gear Dodge 1 viability, decent in a couple other areas, but I just can't put her really above the people here, right? Zilla 2 is going to get low B for me, maybe even C tier. I think I'm going to put her in C tier. The thing about Zilla 2 is Twin Fiend is no longer very good, and she's the only unit, realistically, that doesn't get impaired by Twin Fiend, so you have to use Twin Fiend. It's just like, she's been power crept to hell. I wouldn't really put her very high. Salazar is going to get in D tier, which sounds crazy. He's quite good, but he's fusible right now, so that is the end of the tier list. So overall, Eloin is a must pick. Silas Vierna, if you have one and not the other, you should pick the other one. Vice versa, obviously. Aelin, Pharisee, very, very good support units, but Narissa is better than Pharisee. Only reason why he's not in S tier. Hex, amazing, super flexible, super good everywhere. Hatsit, same thing. Bubba, good in a lot of endgame areas right now. Very important unit. I'm hurting for Bubba the most. We get to Constance, Twyla, Vorn. You can kind of see with these two have kind of the same situation. Boris is very viable. You kind of get what I mean, right? These are like the most viable and important areas that you should try to pick up if you don't have them already. These ones are very specialty units that if you're hurting for them, you should pick them. This one's like very specific examples where you might want them, where they like are used in one specific area. I think I'll move Artemis up a little bit, but outside of that, I'm happy with the tier list. What do you guys think? And realistically, I hope you guys get who you pick on that banner. I am going to be pulling on it. I don't have a lot of summons for this thing, but it is still a pretty great banner. If you're missing a quality unit that you can't seem to get otherwise, this is the time to get them. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. That's it for me. Destined signing out.